I just made a big purchase for my big boat back here the other day, and I need to go ahead and put it on the boat. And here it is. Finally broke down and bought me a power pole. I've been wanting one of these for a while. I was kind of skeptical about them at first. You see them on, you know, bass boats, and they're not cheap. This was $12.99, and then I had to pay tax on it, so it was like, I think 14 something. But a lot of the places I fish are super shallow, and I think this will really come in handy, so I'm kind of excited about it. There's a bunch of different ways you can mount these. They sell brackets for them that mount to your jack plate, which I don't have a jack plate, and then they sell plates that you can mount right behind your engine mount. Now one will come off and you got to put a shim on the other side, but I don't have a cherry picker or any way to pick that motor up. So what I've decided to do is try to just mount it directly to the transom. You know, I did a lot of research. Some people say don't do it. You know, some people say they did it and they like it better that way. So I'm gonna give it a shot. You know, you're drilling 4 holes in your boat, which is never a good idea to drill holes in a boat, but I think it's gonna be okay. It's not gonna be below the water line. You just got to make sure you don't get too low to where water's going to catch it. That being said, I guess I need to get to work. Let's see what's all in this box. Alright, so here's what's in the box. Of course, you have your power pole. You have your instructions and warranty crap. Your remote. Your pump. Bracket for your pump. Hardware. And then a bottle of hydraulic fluid. Alright, so these instructions say, place a straight edge on the bottom of the hole directly below and centered from the desired mounting location. The lowest point of the power pole anchor must be at least 4 inches above this straight edge, or the vessel may experience adverse handling effects. Now, it's got a little picture, but it doesn't really say, you know, where to measure that level line at. I mean, the figure shows it being I would assume below the water line. Alright, so I was wanting to put it on this side of my boat, this side of the engine, because usually when I bass fish and I'm trolling, I'm on the right hand side of the boat. I fish this side of the boat primarily, so I was under the assumption that it would be better to have it on this side so it would get hung up on less stuff, sticks and whatever, tree branches. But the problem I'm having is this right here is where their bilge pump pumps water out, and it comes out of this right here. Well, I measured a straight line. Get out of the sunlight. That's a level line, and 4 inches up from that is that small line right there, and that's hitting this. As you can see, I took this off and trimmed it to get it as high as I could. So this bottom line right here would be the bottom of the power pole bracket if the top was resting right against this. Now, as you can see, that is in where the water line is. You see this muddy stuff, but that's as high as I can get it on this side. I can't move it over here because in this boat it's walled up. Can't get to it. There's no way to get to it. I ain't about to cut a big hole just to see if I can get to it. I don't know. I'm having second thoughts about putting it on this side. I think the smartest thing to do would be to put it over on this side and put it up a little higher, because there's nothing on this side of the boat. I just kind of hate that the pole is going to be on this side catching tree branches and everything else I'll come across, because I fish in a lot of cover. Alright, so I started over on the right side, and I made me a level line. It's a lot higher than the line on the left side. Well, about 1.5 inches higher. You can see my water line right here. And then I did a level line up and down. I made me a template of the base. Since I'm doing this by myself, it'll be easier to mock it up. I put it here first. This is 4 inches above my level line. And then what I was getting into is the inside of my boat has these braces right here. And I wanted to make sure where it was hitting on these. So what I did is I made me a line with the speed square of where the bolts would go. And the first line I did, it had this bolt coming through right around in here, too close to this brace. So I had to move everything over to the left some. So my first 2 bolts will be right around in here in this brace. And the bottom bolt will be in this bottom brace. Then I'll have 1 bolt just coming straight through the metal right here. So I'll get me some kind of spacer for it, and like a fender washer or something. It should be fine. So I went ahead and marked it with the template of where it should be. I got like 18,000 lines on here now, but this right here, I'm pretty sure is gonna work. Now what I need to do is hold the power pole up and move the motor all the way to this side to make sure it's gonna clear. Look, these power poles aren't very heavy, luckily. They're not as heavy as they look. All right, the motor is cut all the way to the side as it'll go. Y'all see that? Looks like good clearance to me. Looks like it's got about at least 3.5 inches. Okay, so that should work. All right, so I got it mounted up. I'm gonna show y'all exactly what I did, just in case someone has one of these boats and they want to do it like I did it. Now, since this bottom bolt right here went through just the thickness of the hull and it didn't go through one of these braces, what I did is I added a spacer in here, and then I added this piece of aluminum bracket, and I ran it all the way from this brace to this brace and under this bolt. So it should be pretty sturdy. I painted it black so it didn't stick out like a sore thumb so bad. But that's what I did. The other 2 bolts right here, they went through this top piece. And after I had it, I got it all cinched up, I went ahead and run another bead of caulk all the way around it, just to be safe, or silicone. My dad's a painter, I'm used to saying caulk, but I think that's that part. All right, the next step is to install the pump and the pump bracket. I have a perfect space right here to put it. It says the footprint of the HPU is approximately 6.5 inches by 7 inches. I read online, I think everybody said after everything's assembled, you need like almost 9 inches by 9 inches. And that's this little spot right here is just perfect. I was originally going to put it this way, but it'll make these bolts harder to get to because this hose, this fuel hose. So I think the best way would be to put it like right here. That way it'll be easy to access these bolts. And also these hydraulic hoses, you want them to be able to have enough clearance to bend to attach to the pump. So it's right here. I'm gonna go back a little bit. Put it right here. I think this is gonna work. Right there. Go ahead and mark these holes. All right, here we go. Seems to be working to me. It came with this little controller that you can mount to your dash or your console, and it also came with one that you can put on your keychain. It also has controls on the unit, so if something happens, both of these run off batteries, so if they mess up, you can still control it from the unit itself. That wasn't too bad. I think I started working on it around 9 o'clock maybe, and then I had to go to the hardware store and get a couple drill bits. That ate up probably 45 minutes. I also had to make that bracket, which probably another 30 minutes. So if you've never done one before, give yourself about 4 hours to do it. You can definitely do it faster than that. And you know, I took my time. I think I got everything on there right. I'm gonna have to go through and zip tie the hydraulic hoses to make sure they're not rubbing on the lid. I'm gonna have to do some more wiring to it because right now I just have it hooked straight to my battery. You know, if I had to do another one tomorrow, I'd be able to do it in half the time probably. It's very expensive. This is a very expensive boat to me. I know a lot of you guys, especially if you got some of them expensive bass boats, you know, this boat is probably a junker to you, but to me, it's a very expensive boat, and I want to invest money into it. This power pole, you know, they don't give them away, but I think it would really help me out in a lot of my fishing spots. So I went ahead and did it. Now all we got left to do is go put it in the water and test it out. I looked for a lot of videos, and every one of them that I could find was using a bracket, not bolting it directly to the transom. Not to mention, just about everyone you see is going on a bass boat. And this isn't a bass boat. This is more of a all-around multi-purpose boat. So hopefully it helps somebody. I appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you on the next one.